Ding, 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 ding. Freedom came my way that night, just like a jet plane, in and out of sight. I was hauling ass at 1,000,000 miles an hour, wondering how hard I'd hit when they came into the station. They said I was bad beyond repairs, but I got no qualms with my situation. Say, here I am. So, say, Cherie, 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 won't you dare to? Say, Cherie, Cherie, won't you dare to? Say, Cherie, Cherie, Cherie. Yeah. Leave a message and your number, please. Take your time to want to satisfy me. Take all these old fantasies and send them care of me. Oh, hello, good people. Happy Thursday. How's the hair? How's the hair? Really important that we get that right. As you all know, I'm very vain, as evidenced by all of this. Oh, we got 7 people in here. Let's get this thing rolling. If you'd be so kind, share the live. Tappy tap the screen. Let TikTok know we're having fun here. There's been something, baby, I've been trying to say for an age, and it seems I don't know how. With past and a future now surrounding me, surrender to whatever cheap thrill can be found. There's been a little trouble since you came to my rescue. And if you're like all of the rest, I would have quit you long ago, but I couldn't do that. Yeah. Oh man, lot of stuff today, lots of little things sort of perking and popping. I think there are folks waiting for GPT5 and Grok 3.5 and DeepSeek R2, and there's a bunch of big things in the wings. But stuff's still moving. There's stuff still happening. Steve-O's in the house. What's happening? What's shaking? What's going down there, Steve-O? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I hope you're doing fantastic there, down there in Down Under, where they have the shrimps on the Barbie. Yeah, hope it's probably fantastic down there, right? Isn't it like you're the opposite? So like you're going into winter, we're going into summer. I think it's like that. Your toilets, they go the other way. Yeah, it's fantastic. I hope you're mowing the yard and getting your granddaughter to do the tappy taps. Yeah, it'll be fantastic. Fantastic there, Steve-O. Yeah, it's really nice down here in Australia. I was never down there, but I'll tell you what I did do. I went on the my wife she showed me how to use the Google Maps. And what's remarkable about the Google Maps is it's got the whole world. It's got the whole world. So you go right down there. And I went on a little, what do they call those in the outback? A little footpath journey, right? And I did one on the Google Maps. It was fantastic. Took me about 3 days. I was exhausted after. I mean, yeah, I had lemonade. To get me through it, but it was fantastic. I did it in real time. I zoomed into one to one and was just walking there in the Google Maps. That was awesome. It was just awesome. All right. Fantastic. What's this? What is going on here? I've got something is bad with my screen redraw. There we go. Perplexity. Wait, what's it say? Perplexity has what looks like an awesome new labs feature. All right, let's add Perplexity to the list. Fantastic. The black bar. Let's put the black bar there. Kakif, Kyle, look at my way of code. Where is it, Kakif? Where'd you put it? All right, look what I made over in the AI salon. It's at the AI salon, and look what I made. What is that? Oh, that's that's those. That's those. Earn your first badge. Look what I made. There it is. There it is. That's fantastic. Cac Fitzsimmons, the way of code. Just a moment. All right, let's go see what we got here. This is from Kakif. Oh, damn. Gorgeous. And did you add the... Ooh. Wait, where's the music coming from? When you click? How did I do music? Prompt is in the salon. Tabs for audio. I can't get it to consistently make audio. I don't know what I'm doing. Move your cursor. That's beautiful. How did you do that? Wait, enable audio. Move mouse for interactive sound. Click. Click. It's very beautiful. How did you get the poem to show up on top of it? Did you just tell it to do that? It's an ambient meditative sound. That's beautiful. Did you publish it to the project? And the prompt is in the prompt is here. Where's the prompt? I don't see the prompt. I don't see the prompt. There, producer Brandon. Anyway, that's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Poe just added VO3. Hashtag the way of code. Hashtag the way of code. By the way, if you haven't seen, no, I just see this one post. And it does not have the prompt in it that I can see. That's pretty gorgeous. It's pretty gorgeous, I tell you. All right. What? I had a busy day today, so my head was not. I did a lot of AI stuff today. So at work, I've been doing a lot of video avatars. So I've been doing a lot of voice synthesis work and voice designing and people designing, and then trying. So here's one of the challenging things with AI when you do stuff for clients is they're like, oh, could you just make her shirt a little different or this or that, and it changes everything else, and it's a bit of a struggle to get subtle things. Like big things are easy, subtle things are hard. So one of the things I'm going to show tonight is Krea just added a new thing called Context, which is a new image editing tool that keeps the base image intact while you change things within it. The prompt was, oh, what if it was weightless? Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's super cool. Nice. Yeah, that's one of the cool things about things like vibe coding, where you're just modifying someone else's thing, is the prompt doesn't have to be that big. I think some of my favorite Midjourney images were single word prompts. Granddaughter just arrived. Let the tapping begin. But I don't want to, Grandpa. My finger hurts. Keep tapping, Sally. Exactly. I like it. It's solid. That's solid. Child labor down under. I like it. I'm going to finish a muffin. Okay. What do we want to start with? Let's start. Okay. If you've got access to Runway, where is that one? Yeah. If you've got access to Runway ML, go to academy.runwayml.com and hang on, let me straighten things out here for the TikTokers. You know those TikTokers, if you don't treat them right, they get sassy. Hang on. Things are all screwed up over here. I don't know what producer Brandon did, but it's not good. It's not his fault, actually. Okay. Do a little new black bar action. Ann says hi. Terrific. Hello, Ann Murphy. What is shaking? Okay. So if you go to academy.runwayml.com, it's a bunch of lessons, right, on how to use Runway. But I'm in the creative partner program for Runway. And one of the things they were doing today in the upper right-hand corner, if you go to this community workflows, it takes you into a bunch of basically Twitter posts of people from the community sharing how they do what they do. And they were going through some of these today. And it's things like being able to start with that image, and then say like a man shooting an apple off a woman's head, and there's the composition. And then Runway ML will generate that, and then you can turn that into a video. And so it was just a bunch of those. And so they're all sort of quick hit little things of just things you can do within Runway. This one was really cool. So this one was someone uploaded a little flower vase, full of sunflowers. And then it said, create a board game based on the following visual theme shown in image 1, right? Here's image 1. put the board, counters, and any cards into a knolling style layout, so laid out in a nice organized fashion on a plain background with studio lighting, as if for a product marketing campaign. And then Runway ML does this and just generates like an entire fucking board game called Bloom and Harvest. The dice are a little weird. The game board's janky. The pieces are almost bigger than the board itself. But still, I mean, holy crap, you know? Oh, I did a Mad Lib like that for everyone. Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool. And RunwayML's ingredients, this thing where you can put 3 things together, is really quite good. It's really quite good. Let me see if there was another one in here that I thought was powerful, that I super liked. You can do things like put raw 3D models in it, like position them in a 3D program, screenshot it, and then it'll follow that layout, which is cool. TikTok pin. Did someone say sunflowers? Emilio's wife. What's happening? Yeah, here's a cool one. This was a cool one where, you know, they put in the 3D model with no texturing. Then they said, here's the texture of the plane. Here's the sky it's flying in. And then they basically just, you know, it generated that image, and, you know, then they put it that way and it generated that image, and then that one. And if you look close, it doesn't follow the model exactly. Everything's a little janky, but it's still pretty good. For a lot of stuff, if you're going to turn these into movies, you know, people aren't going to notice those sort of details right now. And the stuff's going to get better. Oh, this is one of my favorites. So here's the plan. Here's the furniture, right? So wait, let me zoom in so you can see it. Right? Here's all the furniture all laid out on a single image. Because what's fascinating about references in Runway ML is that they only give you 3 reference images, but you can put, you know, a dozen different pieces of furniture in this image, and then this is a plan. And then the way they write the prompt is, you know, generate an interior image using the furniture style, colors, and materials shown in style, you know, underscore internal 1 or whatever it is. The layout must strictly follow the furniture positions and shapes from the floor plan in plan 2. And then, right, so there's the floor plan, there's the furniture, and there's what it did. Now let's go look. Did it follow the floor plan? Single sofa, multi-person sofa, wall cabinet, round table in the middle. Round table, single sofa, multi-sofa, cabinet over here. Yeah, it followed it. Amazing, right? Groovy. It's groovy, I tell ya. It's groovy. It's groovy. It's groovy. Get in my belly. You tasty baby. Wow, you're great at prompting. Well, I didn't do this. Wonder if AI got the idea for the game board from one of the billions of files on someone's computer. I think that might be a troll. That's an anti-AI troll, isn't it? Just like humans got the idea from board games from playing all the board games they loved as a child. It's really no different. What I would encourage you to do, if you're bitter about AI and you don't actually use it, I would encourage you to use it. And if you use it and you're still bitter about it, I would encourage you to learn how it works and learn what it actually does, because it's not copying and pasting. Now, were these models trained on stuff they weren't supposed to be? Absolutely. Is it a crazy gray area? Absolutely. But what I can tell you is this: if OpenAI and Anthropic and X and all of those frontier companies if they had gone to the creative community and said, hey, we want to do this thing that's going to be the equivalent of mashing together all of the museums and all of the libraries and all of the universities and all of the collective output of humanity. We're gonna put it into this magical little ball that everyone can tap into and everyone can benefit from all of what humanity has contributed. Can we have your permission to use this little sliver of content that was done in like the last, 50 years or 30 years where people are still alive? Absolutely everyone would have said no. None of this shit would exist if they had asked for permission. The other thing I'll say is this. Even if you're still resentful of the fact that this was trained on stuff it shouldn't have been trained on, it's already been trained. Like the water's under the bridge. AI is not going away. And being a conscientious objector and just not using it at all and coming on channels like this and just, making smarmy comments, all it does is going to isolate you from understanding what these things actually make possible. And that makes me really sad. Like the whole purpose of this channel is not to say AI is good or AI is bad. I agree that a bunch of the shit that they do is bad. I agree that a lot of what these things are capable of doing is scary. And it's not going away. And it's going to transform every fucking job on the planet, every one of them. And so then you have a choice. It's a binary choice. It's crystal clear. If AI is not going away, if you accept that premise, take your opinion out of it. Just if you accept the premise that it's here, it's getting stronger, it's accelerating, and it's not going away, then you have two choices. You deal with it or you don't. Those are the only two choices. And so if you're using the fact that it's got some ethical shitness to it as a reason not to participate and understand what it makes possible, you're actually just hurting yourself. So this channel is just about not judging it good or bad. It's here. Let's go look at what it makes possible. And then let's talk about how's that going to impact me as a human? And how can we create a community where we can support one another and learn as fast as possible what's coming, what's here? Like if you haven't seen VO3, it's fucking insane. To which your response would be, I guess that was trained on every YouTube video. Yeah, it was made by Google, so I'm pretty positive that it was. Did Google get everyone's permission to do that? No. Did Elon Musk get everyone's permission to train Grok on every tweet that's out there? No. But it ain't going away. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. All right. So AI will benefit society and not the billionaires that own it. It already is. It already is. ChatGPT has a user base of like 600 million people. Like every fucking night on this channel, every night, I get to witness people who are coming out of retirement. I get to witness people like Jim Ross, he takes every new AI innovation that comes out. He runs like self-storage management business. Like lockers with, like self-storage units. Those properties, he manages those. You're like, what's that got to do with AI? He's fucking figuring out how to make AI relevant to him. He says he's operating now like a 10-person company. He's a single-person company. He's making ads. He's making advertising campaigns. He writes songs for his clients. He creates images for his clients. He creates marketing plans for his clients. He'll get off complicated pitch calls, synthesize the conversation, turn that into an interactive dashboard, and send it to the person within 10 minutes of them talking. And people are like, how did you do that? What who are you? He's occurring to people like a fucking wizard because he's curious and he's adventurous. And he's like, if I can now just think of a song concept and create a song about self-storage for the guy Bob I met with. Let me go do that. It's absolutely remarkable. But you have to be willing to step into it and try. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents. That is my 2 cents. Okay, I stopped ranting. You can pin something again. Whee! Never a dull moment here at the AI Learning Lab. Hi, my name is Kyle Shannon. I don't know nothing about nothing, but I'll tell you what I do know is AI is going to fuck everything up. And, you know, I personally think in the long run, it is going to make things dramatically better. Like dramatically. Might it fuck everything up? Might. Is it going to fuck everything up in the next 3 years? Oh, yeah. Next 3 to 5 years are going to be brutal. It's going to be insane. So, pin is back. All right. I'm a maintenance engineer. How do you see AI changing what I do when I have to be present to fix? Well, right now, is my iPad charged at all? No, hang on. Let me charge my iPad and I'll demonstrate it for you. Right now in Gemini and in ChatGPT, both of them have live. So basically you go into your ChatGPT, you put it into voice mode, and then you can turn on the camera. And you can do the same thing in Gemini. If you go to the Gemini app, and you turn on the camera, and then it can now see. And it's connected with ChatGPT, which knows everything and is connected to the internet. So let's see. And this is just one idea. Like, this is just an immediate idea that comes to mind. Like, what's gonna impact you've got to be physically there in person. What the fuck is going on there? Oh man, come on, hang on. My machine was so dead it logged me out of everything. I gotta do some shit. Hang on. I'll be there. Just calm down. New pin while you fix that. Okay. How to leverage my skills, mobile engineer, now with AI on the field. I just got laid off due to something. Okay, TikTok, fix your fucking interface. I just got laid off. Okay, I'm a mobile engineer. I just got laid off due to AI. Got it. Hang on a sec. I'll tell you my favorite app that someone built last week. That complete sign on using your pass key. Where's my pass key? Is it? Yes. Done. I'm coming. Calm down, people. For the love of the Lord. Continue with Google. Continue. Come on. Did it work? I think it worked. All right, this is not going well. Okay, so we'll go to mobile engineer first, and then we'll go to physical engineer second. So we got a bunch of engineers in here. Awesome. And if you're wondering, like, what are my qualifications? I have none. I have a degree in acting. I'm not an engineer. but I know some. I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. I was there for the early days of the World Wide Web. I started agency.com, which was one of the early internet agencies. So I built a lot of the websites for the Fortune 500. So I've been around, right? I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a technology like the World Wide Web take 30 years to change everything. I think AI is going to change everything in about 5 years. And now, if you're coming back at me, if you're an engineer, you're probably coming back at me going, well, AI's been around for 50 years, young man. Yeah, I know. The internet had been around for 7 decades, or I don't know, no, 3 or 4 decades. The foundation of it was earlier, but, 70s, DARPANET was late 60s, early 70s, whatever. It had been around for decades. And the World Wide Web is the thing that democratized it, right? Because it went from you had to do command line shit, which human beings don't do, engineers do, to being able to click it like this, right? Seems like a trivial difference. Well, this way it's relatively simple to log in. You just type words and then click, click. Well, click, click changed the world. AI, ChatGPT, generative AI, starting with ChatGPT primarily, does for AI, which has been around for decades, what the World Wide Web did for the internet. So that's a little bit about my background. If you're a mobile engineer, I'm going to tell you a really stupid app that I think is going to make, $5 million in 2 months and then never make another penny. But a couple of things I would say get like insanely curious about AI. Join communities like the AI Salon, which if you throw that up, Brandon, go to the salon.ai and say, join our community. Start vibe coding. I saw a great post today. If you don't know what vibe coding is, there are now apps out there like Lovable and Replit Agent and Cursor and all these things where you basically just speak an app into existence and it writes code for you and it makes it publishable and stuff like that. Real coders, engineers, are mocking all of those people. And Rick Rubin, who just came out with a book on coding called The Way of Code, and it talks about vibe coding. And if you don't know who Rick Rubin is, you should look up Rick Rubin, one of the world's most famous, respected music producers that doesn't write songs, doesn't know how to work the recording console, doesn't sing, none of it. He just has taste. So anyway, he's a cool guy. He did a thing today where he's like, okay, it used to be, if you wanted to be a real musician, you would go learn the violin and you would join a symphony and you would do your 10,000 hours. And then in the 80s, punk rock came along. And you only had to use, 2 fingers on 2 strings or 1 finger on 2 strings and 3 chords. And you could be in a punk rock band. And he said, vibe coding is the punk rock of coding. And I love that idea. So anyways, I would get your ass vibe coding. If for no other reason, understand what it fucking makes possible. Because as a coder, as a mobile engineer, you're going to understand what it does well and what it doesn't, which is going to give you an advantage over a bunch of clueless newbies that are like, I made a program by just talking to it. And you can go, yeah, but your security is shit, and I know how to fix that. Well, that's a skill. So, but what you're going to have to give up to experience vibe coding is the ego of, well, I'm the best coder in the world. Well, no, not anymore. You might be better at some things, but you're not as fast. And the capability of these tools is accelerating like nothing I've ever seen. So anyway, so here's a stupid app that someone came up with last week that I think is going to make them a fucking fortune. And as a mobile developer, you'll be like, well, that's relatively trivial to make. I know, which is why it pisses me off that I didn't think of it. You upload a picture of your dog. Okay? This is an app. It probably costs like $5 on the App Store. You upload a picture of your dog, and then every day it emails you a selfie photograph of your dog as if your dog's traveling the world taking selfies of itself. So every day you get a dog selfie of your dog. It's going to make a fucking fortune. Is it a novelty app? Absolutely. Is he going to sell like, a couple of $1 million worth in 2 months? Probably. People love dogs. So what the acceleration of AI does for engineers in particular, I think, is maybe you're really good at engineering, but you're not good at interface, or you're really good at interface and you're not good at engineering. Or maybe you want to do something with music and you're not really a composer. Well, now you can make songs, right? TikTok Pink, it's an AI rapper. Yeah, but so, ChatGPT is a large language model rapper. And large language models are math rappers. Like, yes, again, you can put down the fact that app is so simple and stupid that it's trivial and it should be mocked and made fun of. But what's going to start happening is that coding is going to get so democratized that people who have no right creating successful applications are going to increasingly be creating successful applications precisely because they don't know how to code. They're going to make apps that don't follow any of the rules, and it is going to piss you off. If you know the rules and you've been following the fucking rules for 30 years, and some housewife from Poughkeepsie comes along and makes a AAA video game that becomes a hit, you're like, she doesn't even know video games. How'd she do that? It's like get ready for that level of disruption. And just because you have feelings, which, listen, I think are appropriate. Like, if you're pissed off at this stuff, if you're terrified of this stuff, if you, like the mobile developer, just got laid off because of this stuff, be pissed off about it and fucking jump in and learn it. Learn what it makes possible. Don't just sit on the sidelines mocking people that are doing rapper apps. Do you know what just sold for $3 billion? To ChatGPT, to OpenAI? Windsurf. It's a rapper app. All they're doing is making calls to large language models to write code, and they're sort of packaging it in a clever way. It's a rapper app. $3 billion. I think it was like 1.5 years old. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Off to make a selfie app of cats traveling the world. Exactly. Go do that shit. Okay, for the other engineer, do I have enough cord here? Okay, here I am in ChatGPT. Okay, this is normal, just ChatGPT. I might have an affiliate link. What was the app called, by the way? I don't fucking remember. It pissed me off so much. I saw it and as I read the tweet, it was like, upload picture, and it was probably a 13-year-old of probably, right? Upload your picture of a dog and it sends you a selfie every day. My response in that moment was, fuck. Just because I didn't think of it. It is so stupid. I could have built that app 1.5 years ago and had my $5 million and been, had an actual studio rather than this shitty home office. Which, by the way, if you don't know the backstory, this is actually a $20 million production facility. We just make it look like it's a shitty home office. Anyway. Okay. So ChatGPT. Now, I'm going to go into... Hey, Quinn, how's it going?
Hey, Kyle, I'm doing great. Thanks. How about you?
Great. I'm going to turn on the camera here. And you're gonna help me with some engineering, okay?
Absolutely. What kind of project are we working on today?
I don't know yet. Let's see. Oh, okay. See that thing? What is that?
Yeah. It looks like a camera or some kind of recording device on a stand. Are you thinking about modifying it?
No, it's a gimbal.
Oh, got it. Are you looking to stabilize your shots better or add some new features to it?
No, if I wanted help troubleshooting the gimbal, could you help me troubleshoot it?
Sure thing. What's the issue you're running into with it?
I'm not an engineer, but I want to play one on the internet. I want to learn how to do engineering. Here's the thing. See this thing? It's like a tripod thing with a phone thing on it. See all that tape on it?
Yeah, I see it. Looks like you've got it rigged up.
Yeah, it's rigged. If I wanted to fix that rather than buy a new one, and it sort of snapped off at the L joint, what would I use to glue it?
To fix that joint, a strong epoxy glue would be a good choice. Just make sure the surfaces are clean and dry before applying.
But what's a good epoxy? Like, what's one strong enough to actually hold it? Do you know a brand, or like, is it a fast one, a slow one? Is it like the yellow and green one that turns into clay? Like, which one should I use?
A 2-part epoxy like JB Weld or Gorilla Epoxy would be great. They're strong and durable. The cure time varies, but
so that's obviously, if you're an engineer, you're like, yeah, I'm dealing with things bigger than duct tape there, Bucky. I get it. One of the things that you can do with ChatGPT is you can make things like custom GPTs, or if you work for a large organization, they can create knowledge bases that you can tap into, right? So you could take all of the manuals of all of the things and have them in your knowledge base. And then as you're walking around, point the camera at things and it'll explain how to do it. As we're getting farther down the road of augmented reality, AI is going to allow you to have, those manuals are going to be able to overlay instructions on top of the actual device while you're looking at it hands-free. I don't remember what the name of that app was. Anyway, I made my own note taker. So no more pain for Firefly's otter. It's amazing. Wow, there you go. See, there you have it. All right. That was great. First of all, I don't know if the person that originally trolled and fired me off is still in here. I hope you are. But thank you for making a comment that let me know that there were some people in here who are not sure about this shit. I get it. Listen, I have a degree in fucking acting. One of the very first seminars that I gave about AI was to a group of voice actors 2 years ago. And they got on the call and they were like, my job's going to be okay, isn't it? And I was like, you should probably learn what's coming. And actually, one of the things I'm going to demonstrate tonight is one of the reasons that they're probably not working that much. And they're probably not going to work for much longer. Every profession, every single profession, whether you're an accountant or a filmmaker or a writer or an art director or a creative director, all of it is going to change. All of it. All of it. All of it. No exceptions. And then if you're like, well, you seem excited about it. Why are you excited about it? That sounds fucking awful. Well, here's my thought. In the late 1800s, agriculture was all the thing. It was all the rage. We'd figured out farming at scale. Everyone had their horses and their plows and their oxen. And some fucking asshole, probably from Silicon Valley, tech bro from Silicon Valley in like 1842, invents this stupid little thing called the steam engine. You boil some water and it makes pressure and you turn a thing. It was noisy and it was loud and it was stinky. And then someone else went, wonder if I took that steam engine and took this leather belt, put it to the shaft and stuck it to the wheel. I could make like a rolling thing that I could roll into the fields without having to have horses. Well, let's test how strong this thing is. It's as strong as like 20 horses. We still use horsepower today. That fucking asshole from Silicon Valley, or the equivalent of it back then, that invented the steam engine, totally destroyed the farm economy of the late 19th century. Destroyed it. And if you were someone who raised horses or trained them or created feed for them or built plows that were designed to be pulled by them, you looked at that fucking thing and you're like, well, fuck that. It's going to ruin my job. Now, what no one could imagine then was that all those displaced farm workers left farm country because there wasn't work, right? They ate the horses or turned them into glue, whatever it was. They kept the fancy ones. The rich people kept the fancy ones and they ran them around tracks. And all those people moved out of farms and into the cities. And they invented the service economy and they invented, factory work and right. Like entirely new kinds of work that couldn't have been imagined emerged out of that. So what the steam engine did, what the Industrial Revolution did, was it augmented human strength, our physical strength. What AI is doing right now is it's augmenting our intellect. And why we're all so pissed off is like we're the intellectual equivalents of like the strong-ass farmhands in the 1800s. Me like horses, me like plow, right? And then the steam engine comes along and there's like some skinny guy riding the tractor. You're like, I could destroy him. Well, yeah, except his little machine is like 20 of your horses and like 40 of you. You pinhead. Same thing's happening with our intellect, but we have to let go of us being the center of the equation. Just like physical strength gave way to machine strength, physical intelligence, intellect, is going to give way to AI intelligence, to artificial intelligence. And it's going to just do things different, and it's going to make different things possible. Here's a thing that it does that I find tremendously exciting. It might stress you the fuck out, but let's say you're really good at the one thing you do. Let's say it's a particular kind of programming or it's a particular kind of engineering. You got really good expertise in that. You now have capabilities in things you never could have imagined. Maybe you're not good at poetry. You're good at code, but you're not good at poetry. Well, now you're good at poetry. And now you're good at creative writing. And now you're good at marketing. And now you're good at illustrating. And now you're good at music. And now you're good at filmmaking. Now, are you going to be as good at filmmaking as a filmmaker is at filmmaking? No. But are you going to be able to make something that's going to make you fucking happier than shit? And maybe realize, I always wanted to tell stories, but I'm really good at this coding stuff. But now I can take my coding skills and I can prompt this thing in the logical way that I think, and out comes these magical movies that I can now tell stories with. That's one of the things that we experience here night after night after night after night, is people rediscovering their passion for shit they forgot they were excited about. They've given up the dream. And all of a sudden they're like, shit, maybe I can do it now. I mean, that's fucking insane. Anyway, all right. Enough comedy jokes. You can just say my name, Kyle. Pate, what's happening, Pate? Pate's, deep in what he does, working at Google. If he chose to, he could be doing poetry too. Kids' books. Okay, a few spotlights. Let's see what we got going over here. Some LinkedIn things. What is going on? Hide that. Okay, start comment. Let's see. I'm glad I was the first to say that Kyle is the Rick Rubin of AI. Kyle Rubin. Well, what's funny is I've been talking up Rick Rubin for a while, but I didn't know he was into coding. I didn't know he was into vibe coding. And then he started posting on X all these sort of code and AI references, and I'm like, is that really Rick Rubin? And it is. And he just launched the Way of Code. Let's go look at the Way of Code. Because it's super cool. And there's some people in here who are not well, they may have left. I may have chased them away. Thewayofcode.com. So go to thewayofcode.com, and what you're going to see is a very, very elegant, very simple website. This site very much reminds me of sites from like 1995, 96, 97, where web developers, no one had figured anything out yet. So everyone was experimenting. They were experimenting with layout and design and interactivity and how you could incorporate it. And everything was experimental. And this very much feels like a site from that era. And what it is it's 82 pages. It's based on the Lao Tzu, or on Lao Tzu. And black bar, hang on, and pin. My friend lost her job and wrote 12 books and has recently applied for a patent of a medical device. There you go. My friend was laid off. Listen to that sentence in a TikTok comment from Joy Purdy. My friend was laid off and has written 12 books and applied for a patent for a medical device. That's what AI makes possible today. Like, it's not even good right now. It's getting there, but it's still jankier than shit. Anyway, back to this thing. So he got inspired by this work, someone who, has inspired him for his whole life. And he created this book, The Way of Code. Every one of these pages has a poem and a piece of art, of coded art, of animated, interactive sometimes. Where is my cursor? Coded art. And Rick Rubin vibe coded every one of these pieces of art. Every one of them. He vibe coded them on Claude.ai. Oh, yeah. Hey, Kaki, if you're still here, what number, do you remember what page the original art was that you vibe coded, that you did the remix from? And so what happens here is this goes one level deeper. So not only are these pieces of artwork cool and interactive and beautiful, they all have this kind of Zen kind of aesthetic to them. If you roll over the bottom of them, there's this little button that says modify. Page 1. Okay, great. So Kakif went to this page, and there's this little button here that says modify. If you click it, it's a little disconcerting. It takes you away. Oh, what if it was weightless? And it allows you to modify that artifact that Rick Rubin created. And so let me show you the one that she did. What if code was weightless? is the name of that thing. And then she made this variation of it. What if it was weightless? Would it drift, expand, dissolve, or transform? Now what happens when structure is released from gravity? Now, pause. Let your gaze rest on the image, not to analyze, but to arrive. There's no need to act, no need to fix or solve. And then if I click, this thing makes music. Hang on, let me change how I'm sharing. I got myself all hoarse. I was on a rant. That was a good one. We made up for taking off Monday, exactly. So this is a variation of the way of code thing that we were just looking at. Of this one. Oops, I have to change my sharing. And so for every one of them, you can remix them. And you can then publish them. And then you can then submit them to the project. So this is not only a book, not only an interactive art installation, it's a co-creation space where you can actually collaborate in a time-shifted, weird-ass way with Rick Rubin. Crazy. Crazy, man. Beautiful. And this is the kind of stuff, like this is very sort of edge casey. No, very few people are going to pay attention to this. But if you start looking at what this is, and if you start looking at the fact that people from this channel, because I showed this the other night, paid sponsor. Yeah, I wish. Because I showed this the other night, and the people on this channel are generous and curious and willing to experiment and willing to share what they learned. It's like the philosophy of the AI salon is play first, mindfully create, generously lead. And generously lead looks like learn out loud. Come here, play with this. Go mix something up. Share it with the salon. Share it with the other people. Because in doing that, you establish yourself as a leader, but you also bring people along and get them inspired. The reason the salon has 3,000 AI optimists in it that are just playing and exploring and supporting one another is because people are willing to be vulnerable and share something that they're like, I don't really know how to code, but I did this. I don't know really how to make movies, but I did this. I'm not good at marketing, but here's a whole fucking sophisticated marketing campaign that kicks the shit out of what the agency gave me. Oh, man. I'm just curious how much Rick was actually involved in this. I think he was decently involved. Like I said, he's been tweeting for the past 4 or 5 months a lot about AI. And he just put out this video. Let me find the punk rock one because it's really good. We'll watch a little movie together. A little interview. A little portion of an interview. Rick Rubin vibe punk tabs. Yes, what you said. Here it is. This is such a good thing. Whoever filmed this had fucking fingerprints on their camera lens. Amateurs, I tell you. All right.
About your conservatory and study for years. So in the past, for music, you had to go to the conservatory and study for years and years, and then someday you could play in a symphony. And then when punk rock came along, you could maybe learn 3 chords in a day. And then there were all these bands, and that made it everybody. And that was how I started in music, was punk rock. If you had something to say, you could say it. You didn't need the expert.
That's important. If you had something to say, you could say it. right? 3 chords and a dream, 3 chords and the truth, right? Punk rock is just country with electric guitars. 3 chords and the truth. If you had something to say, you could say it. Punk rock democratized musical expression.
Expertise or skill set other than your idea and your ability to convey it. And vibe coding is the same thing. It's the punk rock of coding. I think the biggest disconnect that I feel myself is that it's such a strong tool that can do so much. We need some examples of some of the different things it can do. Now we'll see it can make animation that looks like your favorite cartoon, and then you see a million people doing that. But that's one idea. I want to see all of the things it could do to understand what's possible instead of just, I'm going to get it to do the same thing everyone else is getting it to do. I think it's beyond our scope to understand what it actually can do. And I'm looking for...
That's important too. I'll play that again.
Is getting it to do. I think it's beyond our scope to understand what it actually can do.
It's beyond our scope to understand what it can actually do. One of the reasons I say in here that there are no experts. I'm not an expert. Anyone who tells you they're an expert at this stuff is full of shit. I don't think we have a clue what these tools make possible. I don't think we'll have a clue what these tools really make possible for probably 10 or 20 years. Because it is so far beyond what any of us can do individually. But the purpose of coming to lives like this, the purpose of joining groups like the AI Salon or She Leads AI or communities that are focused on exploring AI, the reason to do that is that the more people that you're around that are curious and exploring AI, they're going to teach you what this stuff makes possible in ways that you could never learn on your own. Because I guarantee you the way Jim Ross thinks about AI in relation to his self-storage business, self-storage management business, is going to be completely different than anything you're thinking about. And then when he shows what he did, to him, what he did with AI is this humble little, oh, I just did this thing. But someone else sees it and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know you could do that with it. Because they'd never thought about the problem that he was solving. Because they're in a completely different sphere. When we're at the early stages, we're at the primordial soup stage of AI. There are thousands of tools, many of them wrappers, GPT wrappers, thousands of them. 8 are going to survive, right? We're in the primordial soup of just bloop, bloop, biology, just spitting out organism after organism after organism. Just spitting them out. What do those organisms do? I don't know. We don't know. You can't possibly learn them all. And by the time you learn all of them, when you go back to the first one, it's completely different or gone. So that's an impossibility. So the only thing you can do is figure out your point of view, your mission, your how you want to affect people, how you want to change the world, how you want to solve a problem. And then just go learn these tools well enough to go play in that space and get your ass in a community. Tom Nodler, biology, natural selection, survival of the fittest. Now you're talking my language, Kyle. There we go. TikTok pin. I worked on my movie all day with AI, King Arthur. This afternoon, I created a little short about Christmas. Perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. Next Tuesday, at the AI Salon, we've got, so the community that I said you should get your ass in, it's at, if you go to the salon.ai and join, click on the button, you scroll down and say, join our community, join it, and then go to events. And next Tuesday, June the 5th, maybe 3rd, I don't know. We're having Danny Kravitz, who teaches screenwriting and creative writing at the University of Chicago, I think, or University of Illinois, Chicago. I don't know. Somewhere in Chicago, he's teaching people about storytelling and creativity, and he's written movies. He's a produced screenwriter, and he's going to come talk about creativity. And opening yourself up to the possibilities of what's there. Let me tell you another thing. Again, is anyone still here? When I go on these rants, I assume just everyone just fucking leaves. They're like, I'm good. Where was I going to go? I lost my train of thought. Danny Kravitz, possibilities. I don't know. I lost it. Whatever. We'll make more. Oh, this was the thing. One of the reasons I'm so bullish on AI and why I think it's going to make the world a dramatically better place is that we're all human. And one of the things that humans do, I've been on the planet for a while. I've been to a lot of self-help sort of things. And one of the things you learn in a lot of those self-help programs is that at some point in our childhood, we learn that the world is a dangerous place. Maybe you put on the pink tutu and you're a little boy and your stepdaddy called you a sissy. Oh, world's not safe. Maybe you were making a picture on the dining room table and your mom said, that's a shitty drawing. You have no talent. Oh, world's a dangerous place. And at some point in our childhoods, we shut down a part of us. We shut down a dream. We shut down a possibility. We define who we are. I've got one I can remember like it was fucking yesterday. And I have designed my life to compensate for this one moment. So my parents got divorced when I was young. And when I was in third grade going into fourth grade, I said I wanted to go live with my dad. He was at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois. And I was going to go into Mascoutah Elementary School, Mascoutah, Illinois. And my mom didn't have it together, and she didn't have my records, my school records. So they had to give me like the test, whatever the fucking test was, the entrance test for a fucking fourth grader, right? And so I take the test, and one of the tests was this grid of like 5 squares by 5 squares, like a 25 square grid. And then you had colored pencils, and you were supposed to color in the grid. This was the late 70s. And my mom was really into Bargello, which was a geometric needlepoint thing, technique, whatever, practice, style. I don't fucking know. And so I looked at the grid and I saw like her Bargello things in my head. And so I made this really cool geometric pattern, and I was really proud of it. And so then I was in the counselor's office where they were like looking over my test, like the adult who was monitoring the test was looking at it. And at one point they got called out of the room. And they left the answer book open. And I'm sitting there by myself, and the answer book's open. And then it was the upper left page of the answer book was the description of the grid drawing. And it said, if the child's drawing looks like this, and it looked exactly like mine, it was geometric. it said it's a sign of a less creative mind than a child's who looks like this, which was chaos. It was just colors all over the place. And in that moment, my heart sunk. Because what that book told me was that I wasn't creative. And I knew in that moment that I wasn't creative. And it broke my fucking heart because I was so proud of that thing. And I spent my life trying to compensate for not being creative by being overly creative. But as you learn in these programs, that overcompensation is hollow because every time you succeed at being creative, all it does is remind you of who you really are, the non-creative kid. And then what you learn at some point is you made a choice back then that you're not creative. But the nice thing about a choice is you can take the other path. And you can be creative. You can be an artist. And so one of the things that AI does that just fucking lights me on fire is it reintroduces human beings to that moment where they told themselves they couldn't do this. They weren't smart enough to do this. They didn't go to the right school for this. They can't do math well enough to do this. The thing that they really wanted to do that got fucking snuffed out when they were a kid. And they're back like a fucking 7-year-old, like, oh my God, I can do it now. It's insane. It's crazy. And yeah, it was probably trained on some living artist's artwork, and then they're not compensating him for it. Both things can be true. People with AD are the most creative. Look how many famous people have it. Nice. Precisely. I've always told my 3 sons that they were the greatest. They turned out great, amazingly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The person who developed that test was not creative. Exactly. Exactly. Like, you know, I think back on it now, and it's like, I get what they were trying to do, but it was just the way it was phrased. And it was the fact that I was so proud of it, right? It was like, I knew I did really good. I kept within the lines because normally I'm all over the fucking place. So anyway. So, he teaches at Columbia. Okay, cool. Danny Kravitz. Yeah, so next Tuesday from 5 to 7 p.m., AI Salon presents. We're going to have Danny Kravitz, and he's going to talk about creativity and unlocking your creativity. He's got a whole methodology for it. And you should come. One of the things I've long believed, you know, when I was the chief creative officer of agency.com, I remember we had a creative group, we had a project management group, we had an account group, we had builders, website builders, technologists, engineers. And I remember there was a rift that came into the company. And it was when the creative group was starting to get a lot of attention. They were starting to do work that people were talking about. And they started to get egos to match. They're like, well, we're creative. And when they said we're creative, they're part of the creative group. And they create these creative products. And then they walked around the office going, we're creative. And it got more and more and more pretentious. And it started to make all the other people who were not in the creative group resent the shit out of them. Why? Because project managers can solve problems in very creative ways. Account managers can be creative in how they manage the relationship. Builders can be creative in how they architect a technology or how they build code. And what struck me was that there's actually a difference between creative product and creative process. Everyone can be creative. You just might be being creative and not be creating a creative product. You might be being creative in how you create formulas in a spreadsheet. That's fucking elegant and beautiful and every bit as creative as someone that did something over here that looks like a cartoon. And so again, what's that got to do with AI? Well, AI lets you take any idea you have and express it in all these different outputs. You get to be creative across disciplines. It's fucking magical. Magical. All right. I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about. All right. Yeah, let's go do the Hume thing because the Hume thing's kind of cool. Or do we want to do Krea? What time is it? It's 9:18. Nah, we'll do Krea tomorrow. Let's do Krea tomorrow. All right, so I got to switch up my what you call it. Where is Hume? There it is. Okay. Are any of my AI haters still in the house? Did I convince anyone to at least give it a fucking shot? Anyone? Is anyone still here? Hello, hello. All of my songs are on SoundCloud. My book is on Amazon. You can do anything you want to do. Exactly. Exactly. I'm here and right now I hate AI. That's Pate. Listen, here's the deal. I 1000% respect Pate and his opinion on AI. And some days he fucking hates it. Some days he actually, well, I don't know that he ever loves it. Some days he thinks it's quite useful, which for Pate, that's like fucking gargantuan love. Here's the thing about Pate and just anyone like that. If you've got an opinion about AI and you know it deeply and you explore the shit out of it and you still hate it and you still take a stand against it, total respect for that. Well, like 1000% respect for that. The thing that grinds my fucking gears is people that assume AI is something that it's not and have an opinion based on nothing. That drives me fucking batty. Because it's only going to hurt them. All right. Anyway. So today, if you don't know Hume, Hume's been around for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. I've known about him for, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years. They've always had a very interesting kind of product where it's a text to voice and voice to text synthesis model. And one of the things that they've always done is as you talk, it's measuring emotional attributes of your voice in real time. So is he angry? Is he happy? Is he curious? Is he, annoying? Yes, he's annoying. And they're sort of measuring it in real time. And then when their voice responds back to you, it's responding in kind, right? So if you're really angry, it either will get angry with you or maybe it decides it needs to get calm, but it will respond to the emotional content of your voice as much as the words. And so they've been, doing different versions and things like this. So the new version that they just launched today is called Evi 3. And you can design a voice. And you can design a voice right now in 11 Labs. You can sort of do a little bit of voice design in Cartesia. I'm sure there's a couple of others that you can do it. 11 Labs is the most famous. What they did here that's really clever is you actually just talk to an agent, a voice, that guides you through designing another voice. So let's go design another voice. All right. I'm the coal shoveler at the bottom of the Titanic. You all enjoy your sandwiches. Okay, Pate, you're the best. Someone's got to shovel the coal. It's true, man. Oh my God. That's awesome. Okay. I think my accent would confuse the hell out of Hume. It might not. It's worth trying it. By the way, I'm at Hume AI, and then Introducing EV3 or EV3, the next iteration of, I got to change glasses so I can actually read the screen. The next iteration of voice interface from Hume AI is here. Okay, so we'll create a voice that matches your personality and style. This is cool.
Hey there. Welcome. I'm EV3 from Hume AI. Think of me as your personal guide to creating a custom AI voice and personality. Something designed exactly around your preferences. So, tell me, do you have a really strong idea?
Sounds like crap on YouTube. Hang on, let me change tabs. Maybe I did something wrong.
Hey there. Welcome to EV3. I'm here to help you create your... Okay, Steve Carter. Got it.
Still no. I just said, is it still bad?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Tough. This is how it is. Sorry. Yeah, weird. All right. I won't do this that long then. Okay. So I want to design a voice with you. I want to design a voice that's kind of like Yoda, kind of like Boba Fett, and kind of like Joe Pesci, if they all mix together.
Okay, Steve Carter, Yoda, Boba Fett, and Joe Pesci.
Yeah, but not Steve Carter. I don't know who that is. You just misheard me about something else.
Okay, Steve Carter, I have what I need for now. Hang tight, and we'll be back in touch soon to get started on creating that unique voice just for you.
All right, they're off making the voice now. Experiencing high load.
So, you're here. Right. Well, hello there. Name's, well, they call me EV3. Built by Hume AI, apparently.
Yeah, but
Didn't see...
Can you say some I want you to speak as if you're Yoda. Just everything you say, I want you to say it with Yoda grammar.
Hemph. So, you wish for me to speak like this, with the words all jumbled around, yes? An interesting path you lead. All right, I shall try. What is it you want to discuss, huh?
I want to discuss turtles and why they're awesome.
Turtles, you say? Powerful little creatures they are. Slower than a speeder, perhaps, but tenacious.
So anyway, there you go. So it's relatively easy. You just basically talk a voice into existence. Now, there's all sorts of other ways you can tweak things here. I don't know exactly what you can do on the site. I haven't been on it in a while, but I just thought that was clever. I thought it was something worth showing. Tabs and Perplexity Labs or Krea. Let's go look at, I want to look at Krea context. Okay. So if you don't know Krea, Krea.ai, all right, there are a number of sites out there that really work hard at giving you access to lots of different models. Like on the large language model side, there's a site called Poe, P-O-E. If you go to poe.com, it lets you play with all sorts of different models, different video models and LLMs and things like that. Krea does that for video and images. There's lots and lots of things that you can do here. Lots. As someone said earlier, it's a wrapper app. They may have their own models, but they're doing a lot of interface wrapping around API calls to open source models and commercial models that you're paying for access to multiple models. So it's a really interesting site. It's an interesting model. The downside of that approach, in my opinion, is that these sites can be completely overwhelming. Right? They're just, there's access to too many models. There's access to too much shit. As the tools are proliferating, they just get very Byzantine, and they're kind of a mess. But there's this new thing called context, edit with context. So in ChatGPT right now, in Gemini right now, they have these things that are native image generation models where you can upload an image of yourself and say, hey, put me in a blue sweater. And it'll put you in a blue sweater. And then you're like, well, put a hat on me. It'll put a hat on you. And then you say, have me holding a telephone receiver. And it'll have you holding a telephone receiver. And every time it does it, your face slightly changes. So by about the 5th time you've done this, you don't look like you, right? Everything's completely different. It's all discombobulated. It's a fucking mess. Context apparently retains anything that it's not changing, which is really cool. Not quite sure how they did it. I assume they're doing some layering dynamically, but let's go play. Log in. TikTok pin. Joy Purdy. Hedra reached out to me and offered me a free month if I engage with their launch post. Awesome. Congrats. That's great. Tell them a month free. That feels a little chintzy. Why don't you write back to them and go, I'm Joy fucking Purdy. Why don't you give me 3 months for free if I mention you at all? Assholes. She would never say that because she's a sweet person. I'm the asshole. All right. All right. Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, it was Hey Jen. Oh, I got a note from Hey Jen. They were like, hey, we're doing this launch on the 3rd. Do you want to do something? And I said, yeah, what's the story? And then they never got back to me. So they like you better than they like me, which they should. Okay, so we're going to upload an image. Which one are we going to do? Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, let's do that one. All right. Okay, so now we could say, make his bow tie yellow. You can all see this, right? And in theory, where do we submit our Rick Rubin recodes? Okay, Vicky, when you remix one of the Rick Rubin things from the Way of Code, you'll go to Gemini, and then when you publish it, well, there's 2 places. When you do a remix, it'll sort of write out in the left-hand pane what it's doing. And in that text, there's for me, there was information talking about you can publish it, and there's a Google form there. But I think it also happens when you hit the publish button. Oh, yeah, look, it made his bow tie yellow. Okay, great. Make the theater seats blue. Hedra's expensive. Hey Jen is okay. Just not all I need at the moment, but good. Hedra's the best one. Their character animation's really good. Like the ones that I think are good right now are VO3 is amazing, but expensive. There's the blue seats, and it made his hat blue. Let's say we don't want. Let's give him a different hat. Let's say, put on a change his hat. Change his hat to a bowler. This is one of those annoying input boxes that when you hit return, it just does a line break and doesn't submit it. Oh shit, I closed the page. No, you should be able to go back to it, Vicky. If you go into Claude, you should have a chat there that you should be able to go back into and spin up the artifact window and then have your chat history still there. It should still be in there. There he's got the bowler. Let's say, let's give him a tux jacket. Uh-oh, my phone is about to die. That's always fun. People like, where did Kyle go? Why did he leave without saying goodbye? That was rude. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Red bow tie. This is quite impressive. This is quite impressive. And then we're going to do bright blue eyes. I'm going to do electric blue eyes. Electric blue eyes. Hazel eyes. Thank you. I got it. Good. Perfect, Vicky. Yay. Hours of frustration saved. That's the one thing, the Way of Code site, the one thing they did really bad, in my opinion, is the word modify. So when you've got the artwork there and it says modify, they could have come up with a more creative word than modify. Oh, look at his eyes. Those are great. They could have come up with a better word than modify. And then when you click on it, it doesn't tell you what's happening. It literally just launches you over to Claude, which if you've never used Claude before, you're like, what the fuck is this? And then you maybe type in something and hit return and it starts writing code. If you're just clicking on shit, it's very, very disconcerting. So, or even next to him. Wait, what was that? Can you add another person? Yeah, let's say, add some happy children in the seats behind him. Oh my God, that return thing is driving me crazy. If I hold down the command key when I hit return, it should do it. I just always forget to do that. This new feature in Krea is wonderful. Love restyling video, and VO3 will be in there too. Yeah. Favorite tool, Krea. Unlimited $30 a month. Live drawing is magic. Cool. So Rick McCauley knows his stuff. Rick is a professor that dives deep into these tools and is really good at this stuff. So if he is saying Krea is worth your time, it's probably worth your time. I don't spend enough time with it to know. I just know that there's a lot in it. So like if you want to, oh, look at that. If you want a rabbit hole to run down, and then let's say, put a scary alien with green eyes behind the little girl on the left. I'm such a douche. Robots in the other seat. Aliens, robots, and we were in the neighborhood. Oh, man. No, it replaced the girl. Well, that's okay. That's pretty good. The kids are happy. Let's see. What are we going to do? Oh, give the man a handle bar mustache. He's on her lap. He ate her. Dang, dang, dang. But like the fact that we've done, I don't know, whatever I've done here, 7 or 8 generations, and his face still looks like his face, and the theater's still there, and the composition hasn't changed. Isn't it interesting how many times the alien in a prompt is a humanoid? Yeah, that's a good point. Huh. So can I download this? Yes, download. So let's see. So there's that. And then let's go open this and go. Oh, I think it was on desktop, wasn't it? Where was that dude? There it is. So it did change his skin tone. That's interesting. He's got these vertical lines in his skin. So not perfect, but still pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. What are we up to? So we're at Krea. Krea's got this new tool and called Context. Krea.ai. And Rick McCauley was saying that he loves Krea. It's $30 a month, and you can do all sorts of shit on it. It's one of those Swiss Army knife tools. So yeah, you got to do a lot. There's a lot to do and play with. If you want to run down some rabbit holes, Krea is a good one. All right, and that tool's pretty good. So what you can do here is you can change elements in an image without fucking up the original. Too bad. Up resolution now to 100,000 pixels. Uses Topaz's upscaling enhanced version. Holy shit. Like, I don't know why you would need 100,000 pixel upscale, but I guess more is better. All right, let's get on the fuck out of here. Tomorrow's Friday. So on Fridays, a couple of things happen. At 11 a.m. Mountain Time on LinkedIn, I go live with this thing called AI Office Hours. And if you haven't been to an office hours, you owe it to yourself to come to one. So how you find it, go to my LinkedIn profile. It's at Kyle Shannon on LinkedIn. And just go to any one of my events, and you'll see it in there. It's office hours. I always use the same URL. And so just pick any of the old ones. And it's at 11 a.m. And I'll put out a reminder tomorrow morning for it. And it's a really good group of people. And we just talk about like what people are up to with their work, with AI, we'll talk about new technology and what are the implications of it. And it's a really smart bunch of people and very generous, very just warm and curious and good people. So do that. Tomorrow night, Friday night, date night. Tomorrow is a first Friday, so there's probably a high likelihood I'm going to be going, gallery hopping with the missus. So we'll probably start 8:30 or 9 Mountain Time tomorrow night. Oh, it's last Friday. Oh, so it's not first Friday. So we'll probably be on time, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Fun. So just deal with it. Get your nachos ready. Get your Hot Pockets ready. Get your dirty microwave ready. Check the home screen to see all the features. Yeah, I know. There's a fucking ton of features on this thing. All right. Look what I made before you leave. Okay, cool. Yeah, so announcing lip syncing. Let's see all their featured things. New enhanced models, upscale and enhance, free Topaz Labs, visual compositing, ChatGPT plus Krea, cool. New Krea, announcing our Series B. They raised some money, good for them. Video restyle, 3D objects, chat image editing, which I guess is different than context, style of the week, camera model, camera controls, Krea chat. And then, yeah, just here's all the things people are making. And then here's just tons and tons of things you can do. Assets, gallery, chat, video, lip sync, real time. Krea real time is a blast. Stage is an experiment, which is a big infinite canvas. So yeah, lots of shit there. All right, good people. Fantastic. I hope you have fun tonight. Sorry I went off on a little rant there, but I get passionate about the AI. I love people asking and challenging me. But I'm, I'm not going to fight the fight of is AI good or not. It's irrelevant. What your opinion of it is irrelevant. It's here. It ain't going away. All right, look what I made. Fun little trippy generator. Ran out of context limit before I could go further. Was this from the Way of Code? What else do we have in here? Storyvine guided video. That's so cute. Kyle and his $20 million studio. There it is. See, that's exactly what it looks like too. Mr. IT coming in hot with an iPad. I like it. All right, what are we looking at here from Archetypal Architect? Let's see what he created. Wonder if it has audio. Oh, cool. Oh no, this is not a remix of Rick Rubin thing. Okay, so the size. So you change the size of the things. Very cool. Here, hang on. Yeah, it's so cool that we're in a world we can just do shit like this. Shapes. Oh, number of shapes. Those are geometric shapes. Yeah, those are geometric shapes. Must not be very creative. Exactly. Fucking assholes. Circles, spirals, mixed, polygons. Right. Color palette. Very cool. Ooh, that one's nice. You can just make shit now. I don't know if Archetypal Architect was a coder. He's an architect. He's probably good with CAD and shit like that. But still, come on. Look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, I tell you. Fantastic, Bob. Hey, Marge. Yeah, listen. I don't know. How do I turn off the YouTube? You what? Yeah, I know. What, was it a marathon tonight? You're gonna watch the wheel till the news comes on. Oh my, that's exciting. But figure it out myself. Yeah, no, I will. I'm good. I'm getting better. No, I know I'm not good with the computers. Yeah, I know, Marge. Hey, do you want some more oatmeal? No, you're good. Okay, hon. Back to the wheel. That Marge, she's the best. La da 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 da. All right, fantastic, everybody. I'll see you later. So tomorrow, office hours at 11 on LinkedIn, and then right back here 8 p.m. for Friday night date night. Deal? All right, deal. Peace out, everybody. Bye. Bye.